Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to KHM Today, your weekly resource for industry news and straight up fun. I'm your host, Carolyn Orphan. Today is September 13th, 2023. And yes, my friends, it is National Chocolate Day. We also have our good friends here at Universal, hence the Minion shirt. So you can see we've got some Hershey's up here. We've got some Trader Joe's chocolate down here. So that's all I had in my house, which is, I think, a lot compared to a lot of people. But I hope you're enjoying a sweet treat today. We did a poll on our Facebook group, or I'm sorry, YouTube channel to see what sort of chocolate you guys liked. We had dark, milk, white, and semi-sweet. And, I wouldn't say dark won by a landslide, but it certainly was in the lead, followed closely by milk. And then, of course, white and semi-sweet dismal. But really, white is only meant to be used as a decorator. And semi-sweet, apparently, we all just like it in chocolate chip cookies. Although I will tell you, if I have a bag open upstairs, I will eat them on my own. Gina, good to see you. Hi, Sadie. I know Sadie's been traveling a lot, so she hasn't been here recently, I know. But Gina, good to see you. I know you're heading to Universal soon. I know you're excited about that. All right, so what's going on here, you guys? Oh, I should tell you that it's parent-teacher conferences tonight, and my son, before he left school, he was like, "Do not wear the shirt, Mom. Please take it off." So anyways, tell us in the comments what your favorite sort of chocolate is. I am, of course, not only do I like my dark chocolate, but I like my sea salt caramel mixed in with that dark chocolate. So all right, a little bit of news before we get started. You guys, West Maui is opening October 8th, all areas but Lahaina. So make sure you're preparing your clients for that. Even if they're staying in the southern part of the island and want to visit, just make sure that they're aware of what's open, what's not open, and what they can expect. Still an important time to be mindful of those that live there and those that work there. So, just set the expectation. Of course, I don't know when we're going to stop talking about the weather, but the weather of the past weekend, of course, caused chaos, massive delays and cancellations. So I hope that you showed your true value this last weekend, getting those clients to from wherever they needed to be. So, Andrea, hi, Reese's peanut butter cups all the way. I'm with you. Anything chocolate and peanut butter is a match made in heaven in my world. All right, you guys, we have a lot of fun in store today. Theme parks. I love them. I was thinking the other day, it's been a while since I visited, and it's time to get another theme park visit on the books. So who else to get me excited for this sort of travel? But Karin Greene with Universal Resorts and Parks, Parks and Resorts, flip-flop them however you want. Karin, great to see you.
Be here. Thanks for having me.
And of course, we have a minion in the background. Halloween, of course, inspired already. You're getting ready for it.
I am. We just got back from Halloween Horror Nights, and so of course I had to bring Bob back with me.
So, okay, so before we talk about, the chocolate and all the fun stuff at Universal, let's just talk, okay, Horror Nights, it's scary as all get out. Is it as scary as I think it's going to be?
So, it's funny. I always say it really depends on what your interests are, right? And I am not a scare girl. It's just not, horror is not my favorite. But I will tell you, I absolutely love Halloween Horror Nights. It's my second time going, and it's just amazing because you've got these terrifying haunted houses that you walk through. The characters jump out at you. I would say probably that's your scarier situation, right? But then you're walking around, and we actually have characters who walk around with the chainsaws and the monsters, but they don't really come up and interact to you. Like they'll come up to you, but not that scare or jump at you like the haunted house. And then, of course, the amazing food. I ate my way through with all the horror food, but it is a fun event. If you've not done it, I highly recommend it. It's just really well done. It's so much fun. And of course, we have the shows, and
Mhm.
it's just a great event. So I always say try it once. You may love it, you may not. But it was great. We really had fun. So I really recommend checking it out. And it's really funny because we have so many folks who will fly in specifically for this event. They wait every year. The level of engagement and dressing up in their Halloween gear. And so yeah, it's so fun to see everybody interacting with our team, and our team just does an amazing job on it. So I highly recommend it.
Well, and what a fun way to get ready for the fall, right? I'm a
Yes.
summer girl, so I love summer, but what a fun way to say, "Welcome fall, I'm excited for you," than to show up and do an event like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great kickoff. I'm already ready now for the cooler weather and getting all my sweaters out.
Good. Well, as we said, it's National Chocolate Day, so what's your preference? Dark, milk, white, semi-sweet?
So I don't actually eat a lot of chocolate, but if I'm going to, it's going to be dark chocolate covered strawberries. That's my all-time
Oh, very
favorite.
good. Very
Yes,
good.
yes,
That is a good one. So you're like a little bit of the sweet with the sweet. Yes,
yes,
and
yeah,
a little juice. Awesome.
yes.
Okay. So we know that there are influences, chocolatey influences throughout Universal. One of my favorites is Toothsome Chocolate Emporium.
Oh
It's
yes.
in City Walk. It's so immersive and fun and delicious. So, can you share with our viewers a little bit about what they would experience going to that restaurant?
Toothsome is a 19th century themed. You'll have Professor Penelope. She is the one who created Toothsome, and sharing her mission is to share her love of sweet treats. And then, of course, you'll see her little sidekick Jock walking around. He's her robot, and so it's always fun to have that character interaction. But what I love about Tucson, if you have not been, so when you walk in, of course, we are known for those signature milkshakes.
Yeah.
And speaking of chocolate, the best one is the brownie milkshake. And so that's
With
got
the
the,
brownie sitting right on top. Yep.
yes, yes, they are big, they are filling. And then, of course, with Halloween Horror Night, we have our new fortune teller milkshake. So I tell everyone, go try that one. It's got the little bats on it, very cute. So you've got the milkshake area, and then we've actually got an entire section that's cases of different chocolates and desserts. And I mean, if you want a sweet treat, that is where to go. I may or may not come home with a couple of boxes every time I visit. So, and then you've got the full restaurant, and it's got, in fact, they actually now have a breakfast menu for dinner. I did have the crepes, they were amazing. And it's everything from salads, sandwiches, full
Mhm.
entree. So really the best of everything. But I'll ask you, when you went, did you have the bread?
Yes, I did have the bread.
The warm chocolate almond bread with the honey butter is absolutely, so talking of chocolate, you've got to have that when you go to Toothsome's.
Well, and it's such a fun way. I recommend it a lot the night that people fly in, right? Because they're not necessarily going into the park, but this is a way to easily walk over to City Walk, start looking at the shops, and have a really fun and engaging meal without even entering the park. So that's one of my favorite things to recommend.
Really smart. It's a great kickoff because you're getting the atmosphere,
Yeah.
but you're still that relaxed kind of coming down from that
Yep.
travel time. That's the time to engage with family over a meal or sharing one of the shakes. And so, yeah, it's the perfect way to kick off the beginning of your stay.
So then if we stick with City Walk, then we have Voodoo Donuts, which, believe it or not, this we have one in downtown Denver where I live, but we actually have one now at the airport as well. And
Oh,
people walk on the plane with a dozen donuts, and I'm like, "You're killing me here, folks." Like, that's all when then the flight attendant comes around and asks me if I want, pretzels. No, I
not
want
the
the
donut.
donuts back in 27C. Um, so tell us a little bit about, just the creative juices behind this.
Voodoo Donuts is amazing. And it's funny because, as you say, you can't just buy one. I see people walking out with
Yeah.
boxes all the time. Voodoo is really neat. It's unique in the sense of, and it's amazing too, because you'll always have a line out the door. It just boggles my mind. But there is a donut for everything, every flavor. In fact, the newest one, I was looking up chocolate donuts, and of course, the newest one is the Ring of Fire, which is a chocolate cake donut with cinnamon sugar, cayenne pepper, and dried red chili pepper. Not for me, but if you
Right?
crazy chocolate lovers want to
Yeah.
try something different, but it's fun. So, like, even so, I live in Galveston Island. I'm the Texas representative for Universal, and so it's funny. They actually had a Texas donut. So the creativity, everything they come up with, the different flavors, it's just, and it's funny because I would never have said I would go somewhere to buy a donut,
Mhm.
and yet I will go to Voodoo every time. And get one of the crazy donuts. It's again, it's got its own following.
I love
So
it. I love
yeah,
it. It's crazy, but I just think it's so fun that people can go and experience food at a different level, and just kind of wrap that into their vacation. All right.
absolutely.
So then we get into the parks, and of course, you're going to find little treats here and there. But Honeydukes is the big place in Wizarding World that's going to have those signature, frogs and all those fun things from our world of Harry Potter.
Well, as Ron Weasley stated, it's a sweet shop where they've got everything. And
Yeah,
it's correct. They do. Like you say, they've got the chocolate frogs, which is the signature. If you're
yeah.
going to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, I'm a big Potter geek. I'm not going to lie. And so to have that chocolate frog is
Yeah.
the essence, right? Because it's in the books, it's in the movies. And so, yeah, you have to get one of those. And then, of course, the Birdie Bott's every flavor bean. I mean, hoping I never get an earwax,
I know, right?
but it's everything from the
Yeah.
actual sweet shop. So definitely it's a must to go in there and get yourself a treat. And then on top of that, sneaking over to Diagon Alley because they have the new chocolate chili spicy ice cream. So again, fun chocolate treats at both areas.
Wow. Okay, so that's definitely on my list. I find it interesting when there's chocolate and that spicy combination because I don't know how it would work for me, but you're seeing it more and more. So I think I have to be open to it.
And it's funny, I'm not a spice girl. Unfortunately, salt is my biggest, and
Me too.
so I applaud folks who have a really great palate because they are experimenting and trying new things. And I think that's what I love about Universal is that they're always experimenting and coming out with something new that hits the food senses. And so, yeah, you really could just eat your way through and try new things.
Yeah. So before I ask you about Minions here, we've got some comments here. We've got some dark chocolate, adding the salted caramel. Chocolate almond bread is up on Gina's list for November, and Sadie's a big dark fan. So yeah, I think we've got some chocolate lovers out there. But I'm with you, Karen. I really am more of a salty snack kind of girl. But if it's good, I will eat it. All right, so let's switch to Minions because this has just kind of exploded into Minion land, and it's immersive, it's fun, it's entertaining. And we think the Minions love their bananas more than their chocolate, but maybe there's a combination there. What are we going to love about Minion land?
Gosh, Minion Land is so much fun. So if you remember where the old Shrek area was, Minion Land has taken that over. They have a great new attraction where it's Illuminations VillainCon, and so you're joining Gru and the girls, and you're blasting your way through and collecting coins, and so it's just a fun ride. For eateries, we have the new Bake My Day in there. I highly recommend the banana Swiss roll. Of course, looks like a
Yeah.
minion, and so it's absolutely delicious. And then chocolate cupcakes, we have the s'mores, just a fun place to go in and get some sweet treats. Illuminations Minion Cafe, where they say mischief is always on the menu. And so that's a great place to go get Otto's Noodle Bowl or Carl's Crispy Cauliflower Dish. So some really fun and unique foods in there. My new favorite is the freeze ray pops that are just outside the ride. They have everything from mango to blueberry lemonade, but my all-time favorite, and of course sticking with the minion theme, was the blue banana minion pop. So it looks like a
Ooh.
minion, and as you eat it, it's yellow on the outside with blue ice cream on the inside. So such a fun place to eat. So really just some great things. It's so much fun. I think you'll really enjoy it.
The creativity is astounding to me. And I
Yes.
always say I would love to be a fly on the wall for the person to hear the person say, "You know what we should sell outside this ride? A yellow minion, banana flavored with blue ice cream in the inside." Like, who's thinking of that? Oh, we just lost
Just
you. There we go.
I was gonna say, or the orange vector popsicle. Like again, they really tied those characters into those flavors.
It's crazy. So,
It
okay,
is.
so what else do we have to look forward to when it comes to Universal? What's coming up that you can
But
share with us?
I was gonna say there's only a few things I can share. So as you know, we're opening our next park in 2025, Epic Universe, and what we know is it's going to be epic, and
Yeah.
so we are really excited about this. One thing I can tell you. And you may know that out in Universal Hollywood, we opened the new Super Nintendo World out
Mhm.
there. And so we are excited to announce it will be coming to Orlando. And so, yeah, we are really excited for this next step. It is just going to be huge. Obviously, the new Minion World, or excuse me, the Minion Land. And then, there's talk about a park out in Frisco, Texas. So keep your ears out for that. So, yeah, lots of up and coming, but not a lot I can share.
Well, I love the fact that we don't want to we sometimes forget about Hollywood, but they're getting some cool things. I mean, they've got Mario first.
Yes.
And I think that's really neat because it puts a spotlight on that park. And as we mentioned before, we started the show. That park still has my favorite life-altering ride, Jaws.
Yes.
And we don't have that in Orlando anymore. And so those two reasons alone are a reason to hop on a plane and go west as opposed to east.
Absolutely. And Hollywood to me is always that. I don't know if people ever think to go out there. And Hollywood is an amazing, amazing park. And the Super Nintendo world was
Yeah.
absolutely incredible with what they've done. You go through a tunnel. If you have a chance, Google the video. But you're going through a tunnel and you come out into the world. And
Mhm.
it is just, I sat for just hours looking at everything. And there's movement and then you can actually get your power band and so you actually are interactive playing the games and collecting digital coins. And it was funny because again I didn't think I would get into it. I started playing and there was a little kid next to me. He was adorable and he just wanted me to learn this and he helped me. And so now the two of us are running around getting
He needed you to get on board. He
he
needed
really
you.
did. I think he was appalled. I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah, it was so fun, and it's a great park. I highly recommend if you've not done
Mhm.
Hollywood, definitely get out and especially seeing Super Nintendo World. It was just so well done.
Well, and as I mentioned to you before, one of the things I've loved about learning about Universal, putting it into my own client mix is because I feel like it's very manageable. And no matter the number of days that you have, you can walk away from these parks and feel like you've accomplished something and really not left anything on the table. Unless it's like February and you're like, oh, I really wanted to go to Volcano Bay. But you kind of knew that coming in, that you weren't likely going to do that. But for Universal and Islands of Adventure, like it's just so manageable and accessible that you feel like you've accomplished something no matter what your time frame.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important. It's important for our vacation dollars. It's important for our time as a family. And so I've really fallen in love with it, regardless of how sick I get on some of the rides. I still love it and I still go, but I just know that that's coming with it.
And it's I always say it's like a campus, college campus, right? And so when you look at our map you can see everything is so easily walkable. Everything
Mhm.
has an easy path, whether it's from the hotels, from city walk to the parks. It's so manageable. And then one of the things I love about it is you could either get the express passes, which gives you that front of the line access, or I always tell folks just a little tip is when you're shopping, and I'm guilty. I've been in tourism for way too long. And so I'm always guilty of thinking of my dollar immediately. But I always tell
Yeah.
folks shop those premier hotels because
Yep.
the top three hotels, they include that express pass. And what a saver because again, if you're coming during peak season or you want that, again, make the most of, or, most of your time and get to the head of line and get those rides done. It's a great benefit or a VIP tour. Again, you get all that walking
Mhm.
access and then the unlimited access later. So some really great options. It's so easy. We try to make it as easy as possible and as, you know, build as many memories as possible for the
Mhm.
families.
I love it. Well,
Yeah,
Karin, thank you so much for being here, tuning in from Texas. We appreciate it so much, and we appreciate our partnership with Universal. So thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Yes, thanks for having me, guys. And if you need anything, let us know.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your week.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you guys. So when we're thinking about theme parks, we want to make sure that they're really accessible to everyone. And here to help us kind of break down some of the resources available should you book a trip to Universal is our own Amy Garner from the DE&I. committee. She's our specialist here at KHM. And she just is so, so good about sharing resources that are available to us and therefore available to our clients. So thanks for being here today.
Oh, thank you, Carolyn. That's quite the hype up.
No, don't let me down. No, you can see, like, I just think theme parks, they're just fun, right? And sometimes you get back from them, you feel maybe more exhausted than you would from a different type of vacation. But they're also really energizing, and they're such a way to have laughs and fun, and really see expressions on your kids' faces that you might not see on a daily basis. And but you are so great about helping us with resources so that we can help our clients who might be sensitive to noise, stimulation, and other triggers that might prevent them from really having a fabulous vacation. So when we're talking about Universal and some of our other theme parks, what do we want to be watching out for?
Definitely. So, Universal has something really unique to the theme park world. They actually have some sensory rooms at the front of Universal Studios in Florida. So that's a nice place for clients who might get overstimulated and just need a little bit of a break and a quiet, controlled environment. And that's just one of the many things that Universal offers when it comes to accessibility. So we have their attraction assistance pass that will let you wait. You still have to wait in line, but you're waiting outside of the conventional line. And that's something that other theme parks do as well. And then some other things like being able to use your stroller as a wheelchair, meeting special dietary needs, all of those kinds of things that the theme parks just exceed at. It's such a treat.
Amy, I'm not super familiar with the accessible pass through Universal. Is there a process that you have to go through to get this?
Yes, and Universal just recently changed their procedure. So it used to be that when you would get to the park, you would talk to a team member there to be able to find out if you qualify for the attraction assistance pass. But now they've partnered with IBCCES, which is like a official credentialing board, and you get a attractions assistance pass there. And so it's something that you can pre-register for before you go. You know that you have it. And then you get there and just let them know that you have the card, and they'll add that assistance pass.
That alone for parents is probably a huge relief.
Definitely.
To know that this isn't something you're walking into blindly, and you may or may not get the assistance that you need. You know this before you're getting on that airplane or driving to the destination.
Definitely. I think that it was a great idea to kind of outsource that to the professionals. And now, now it's also not just pleading your case to a team member when you arrive.
Right, right.
Stress off people's plates.
Where are the best places for us to find these resources or even stay up to date on this? I mean, obviously you did a little research before coming on, but I know it's like you feel like you know this stuff, and then, oh my gosh, the client comes back and they're saying, well, that's not exactly how it worked. So where do we go to keep up to date?
Definitely. Both of the big theme parks, I think Disney and Universal, when I think theme parks, they have their own accessibility pages on their website that are updated all the time. So that is kind of your best place to find things. And that will link to services that you wouldn't even think of existing that are there that can help fill in those gaps. Because sometimes things aren't super straightforward. It's not just, oh, I'm going to be using a wheelchair. It's, I have a colostomy bag or, something like that, or I'm worried about my prosthetic leg on an attraction. And so they have, Universal and Disney both have really detailed guides to their parks that'll tell you every single feature about all of their attractions so that you know that you're in the right place.
I'm thinking about some of those qualifying questions that we would ask because we oftentimes think of sensory. I feel like that's more common. So I feel like I have those words to ask those questions, but you just brought up one that maybe I hadn't thought of was, prosthetic limbs. That can be a game changer on some of these attractions. And to have that information, it almost seems like something we would want to include, that link to those pages for every client, just so that they even recognize that this might be information that they need, even
Yeah,
if we don't know they need it.
it can be super helpful because there's a lot of times where you just don't think about things if they're part of your normal life. And then all of a sudden you're out of your comfort zone and you don't
Yeah.
have the accommodations you have at home. So it can be super helpful. And Universal even will include the average waist size that is the maximum limit on some of their attractions. And that can be a
Mhm.
huge disappointment saver for people to kind of go in knowing, okay, some of these thrill rides, they may not fit me if I have a larger chest or a tummy like me.
Mhm.
So it's always great to have those resources
Yeah.
available to your clients, even if they may not need them.
Right. Well, it's always good to know. Do you find yourself, because of your knowledge and just this position that you have found yourself in, do you feel like more and more people are reaching out to you specifically and saying, my husband or my wife or my spouse or significant other or my child has this challenge. Can you help us navigate this? Do you feel like this has become kind of a niche for you?
Definitely, definitely. It was not intentional, but I'm so
Mhm.
glad that it did. And I think that the reason is because when someone has all of their needs met, not just some of them, they want to tell everyone.
Right.
And especially because typically if someone has a disability, they're part of a community. And so then someone will say, "Oh, I saw you went to Disney. How was that?"
Mhm.
Were you okay? And then they're like, "Oh, you have to use my travel agent because she helped meet all my needs and she knew all of the tricks."
Mhm.
And so it just the word of mouth and like that referral web that we talk about a
Right.
lot, it just grows exponentially when you can really meet those accessibility needs.
Well, and be able to speak to how it works or doesn't work, right? That reality factor is also key. We don't want to just be selling something because we want to sell it. I want to make sure it's really going to work for you. So I know I get a lot of phone calls for food sensitivities because I have two celiacs in my family. So I've figured out which resorts, where we can go, how you have to work the cruise lines, all of that. So people do reach out because they want to travel, they just don't know how to do it best. But I'm very realistic with them about how it all works and the steps they're going to have to take, and to make sure that it's a safe eating
Definitely,
environment for them.
definitely.
But that
That's true.
personal experience really does help, and also to be able to provide resources and said, here you go,
Yep,
this is all you need to know.
definitely. It's great that they have the resources until you can get the personal experience
Right, right.
for sure.
So, well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. I know you're a theme park junkie too.
I
So,
am. I'll be at
um,
Universal in December.
oh, I'm so jealous, so jealous. Let me ask you before you go. Are you a dark, semi-sweet, white, milk,
So
blueberry
I
gal?
I am a milk chocolate girl because I have this weird thing. They call it like a photic sneeze syndrome where dark chocolate makes me sneeze.
Really?
Yeah, so if I eat a bite of dark chocolate, I will be sneezing all over for the next few minutes. But I don't get it with milk chocolate, and it's awful because I love dark chocolate.
Who knew?
I'll eat a piece of chocolate in front of you for Crystal, so you can.
Right. So I can see. Now go. Sneeze, 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 sneeze. It's funny because we were talking. I have my Trader Joe's here in the back. They're those orangey things and the watermelon, and they were a gift. And I don't really love them, but I will tell you what I do love: the dark chocolate covered blueberries. And
Ooh,
again, this is not a sponsored segment, but they're Brookside. I cannot buy a bag. I have to walk past them in the store, and even more so at Costco because they've got the big bag. But it's that thing that you just take a handful of every time you walk
mhm.
past that pantry. It's not good. The
That's the
12-pound
mini
bag should
peanut.
not be gone in 4 days.
I
So,
love
yeah, that is my weakness, when it
I
comes to
love that.
chocolate. So, well, I'm so glad to see you. I'm sure we'll see each other before December, but thank you
Hopefully,
always for your time and your research. It really is an important piece of booking travel.
definitely. Happy to be here and to share.
Wonderful. Well, go enjoy some milk chocolate today
I sure will.
and have a good one. We'll see you soon.
Right, bye.
Bye. All right, you guys. So much fun. I got to go change out of my Minion shirt for parent teacher conferences. But thank you to all of our sponsors. Especially Apple Leisure Group, our main sponsor. Next week, you guys, I will be out of the office, but we are going to be releasing a really fun video that we did with Gary Sadler from Sandals and Beaches Resort live at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern time on our YouTube channel. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you'll get notification of that. And then we'll be back September 27th for a fascinating interview with Ken Muscat, the managing director of Scenic Cruise Lines, where we are going to be discussing and celebrating World Tourism Day and their initiative, Cherish the Planet. So please join us then. Thanks so much, everyone. It was great seeing you, Ashley and Gina and Sadie and Pam and everyone else. Yep, Brookside Blueberries. I know, Gina, got to be left alone. You guys have a great one. Take care. Happy selling.